Meditate, when we sit down to meditate, we can connect with something unconditional, a state of mind, a basic environment that doesn't grasp or reject anything. Meditation is probably the only activity that doesn't add anything to the picture. Everything is allowed to come and go without further embellishment. Meditation is a totally non-violent, non-aggressive occupation. Not filling the space, allowing for the possibility of connecting with unconditional openness, this provides the basis for real change. You might say this is setting ourselves a task that is almost impossible. Maybe that's true, but on the other hand, the more we sit with the impossibility, the more we find it's always possible after all. Pema says if you have thoughts, longings, hopes, and fears, again and again we can return to the present moment. We are here. Another instruction from Pema is when one thought has ended and another has not begun, we can rest in that space. If your mind has wandered, bring it back, which Pema calls training in returning to the unchanging heart of this very moment. And finally, she says, all compassion and all inspiration come from that.
This morning, we begin as the Buddha began, in communicating and transmitting the teachings through hearing. Thus, we begin without analyzing, without striving, without looking for understanding by cognizing. We simply allow the words to enter the whole of the mind, body, and heart. It is not just the ear door. Listening, deep listening, with our whole being. Now this, bhikkhus, is the noble truth of suffering. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, illness is suffering, death is suffering. Association with what is displeasing is suffering. Separation from what is pleasing is suffering. Not to get what one wants is suffering. And from the Kalama Sutta, do not go by reports, by legends, by traditions, by scriptures, by logical conjecture, or by inference, nor by respect for a teacher. When you know for yourselves these things are wholesome, then enter and abide there. Breathing in listening. Breathing out, embodying. Where does the body mind settle with the listening? Where is it activated, energized, enlivened? Cultivate the capacity to hear beyond the ears, deep into the whole being. Know for yourself the Dharma. This from the Satipatthana Sutta, listening. This is the direct path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the attainment of the true way, for the realization of Nibbana, happiness and freedom. Mindful of the body, I know the truth of this. And the final from the Dhammapada, mind as the shaper of worlds. Mind precedes all phenomena. Mind is their chief. They are mind made. If one speaks or acts with a purified mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never departs. The Dharma has been heard. We allow it to move beyond the ear into the body, to be fully known. To be realized by this awakened heart mind. This is the path to the end of suffering. So be it. So just staying in the body, seeing if you can get a sense of what remains, what stuck or stayed or resonated. And maybe it's a felt sense because the hearing in its depth of wisdom is actually meant to invite experience, not some kind of head knowing. And so using the body first would be a certain wisdom. Moments or points of ease or distress, or that aliveness or resonance. It's all here. And as we stay embodied for a moment, what then might happen is that you might recollect a word or a phrase, and that might be something to um, contemplate, to reconsider, to repeat, to remember. And in that then becoming familiar, we continue to embody it more and more deeply. And it takes on nuance and depth of understanding and ultimately becomes embodied wisdom, prajna or prana. And if we did this with all hearing, oh my gosh, I don't know what would happen. If we actually open to just allowing it to be heard, and we really then understand that the hearing is not just the ear door, really resonant in the whole body, mind, being. The sutta says then you would know for yourself the truth, and you could only then live in accord with it. There would be less confusion because you were ultimately abiding the truth. And we are so reactive, aren't we, to what we hear? And it's so uh, impulsive and gotta do, gotta say, gotta be, um, that these very moments of creating stillness and silence within the words, around the words, between the words, and their meaning, it says that's the depth of listening, and in their resonance, what this, how it impacts and creates the world. Remember this for you. The world is created with this mind. Then we would act in a, from a place of wisdom and purification. We just wouldn't be through that ego door. Just by the space itself, it is less likely. And we didn't understand anything yet, right? I don't know what that means. And yet, the stillness, silence, and space that we bring to the deep listening would have its own profound impact. And so I'm just going to check in. We had a little assignment, and I know it's not easy to do, which was to look at some of the suttas that I wrote some lines of for those who received it. And that's why I thought I'd just repeat them, because that's a hard piece of practice. It's extra time, extra, you got to go back to the email, you've got to look something up. So I understand that it's challenging, which is why I thought I would offer it today, and then that we could speak about it together today, because this is the practice. This is the practice. Why don't we just begin then by sharing experience? How was it to hear words that may or may not be familiar to you, and to just rest with them, and then one's experience with them, whatever that was.
Um, so often, well, not often maybe, but occasionally in my readings, I will come across phrases or words that at first read I feel like I don't agree with. And then then I realize I don't understand. And then what I got from what I've heard today is, well, to let go of that and just sit with it and let the sound be what it is, the sound. So that's kind of where I'm at with the unfamiliar. You know, I like to think about stuff, and I also would like to let go of that and just experience it.
Yes. Yes. Did you see moments, Lynn, where that felt possible?
Yes, it feels very possible for me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yes. Yes. How would you imagine uh, it would be different for you just to receive the hearing. And then, as it says in the sutta, abide thus.
Yes, when I say that, I just let the sound in and have it be what it is. I think that's a good explanation of it for me.
Yes, yes. And then you could see right away, can't you, as Lynn's talking, the infinite space that is now made available.
Mhm.
Know thyself, isn't it? To know thyself, the first foundation of mindfulness is to know something about this body, and the mind that is constructing the experience, which is why we rest in the body. The mind is there also, in the grip, in the ease, in the this is not certainly just body, though we primarily use the body for the initial knowing. And then, as I was just saying to someone the other day, I drop, I really am recognizing how much I use my own body, and its wisdom. And I was talking about this surgery date, and and I'm getting a lot of when is it, and when's it going to be, and what's the month, and what's the day, and does it mean Nepal or it doesn't mean, lots of inquiry. And really, it all just like hits me and falls off, like blink and blip, uh, because I have a deep felt sense that it cannot yet be known. And it's nothing about my head because my head's a knower. My head likes to know, it likes to plan, it likes to organize in right. And really, I just keep saying it cannot yet be known. And then people go, well, how are you sitting with that? And I'm like, you cannot imagine the peace of not needing to strive to know, to just rest in not knowing, to rest in the felt sense that I have a felt sense, by the way, that things are moving along even though I can't see them, even though I don't have a date or a person calling, or and I actually have a very deep sense that there's some truth in it because it isn't mine. It isn't just Diana. It feels like there is a holding space for this in some way. And at some point, there may be other skillful actions that are the result of that. Uh, and what would it mean for us if we could listen like that? Thank you, Lynn. Others? Other experience? Libby was going to say something.
Yeah, just what I noticed, sort of the first thing I noticed in just trying to listen is seeing the ego pop up right away. Again, the preferencing, the wanting, even with the phrase of, right, the wanting, not getting what you want is suffering. And not even liking that phrase. Like, really? I thought it was really the clinging to the wanting that was really the suffering, and trying to argue that it can be suffering. Is it suffering, or can it? And just this ego wanting to latch on to, again, something more solid, or what it already knows.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, did anybody else notice I said something the other day, I've gotten a little piece of feedback about it. So let's talk for a moment about not liking what we hear or what we know. And the line that I use that I've gotten some feedback about is all felt sense or all that is felt is suffering, right? And I've gotten a lot of pushback about that. Just tons. Like, what? No, not all that is felt is suffering. all what is felt can also be beautiful and loving and tender. And is it true? It is true. So where is the suffering even
Mm,
in this?
you still want
Where is the suffering even in that tenderness, even in the succor, even in the loving, even in the beauty? Where is the suffering?
When it
For
ends.
me, for
Yes,
me, it's that I can't stay there, that I start thinking and the conceptual brain takes over and I lose connection with the felt sense and I try and interpret it and how it's going to go away. That is painful.
yes. Jim, you're speaking to one perfect piece of that. Jean was going to speak to the other because I heard you, Jean, and I already know you know. What's the other? And these are all elements of the suffering. Jim, this is right. The conceptualizing, the how do I keep it? What? And Jean, you were going to say something about
It,
that.
it goes away. It
Yeah.
ends at
Yeah.
some because of impermanence. It's gone,
No matter how lovely,
no
no
matter.
matter how beautiful, no matter how sucrose, no matter how delicious, no matter how orgasmic, no matter there is an essential truth, and it is large. It is large that all things.
If it doesn't bother me that it's gone, is there, are you saying it is still suffering?
Yes, why? There's another side.
Hmm, I don't
It
know.
doesn't necessarily stay gone. In its nature, all conditioned things arise and pass. So the
Hmm.
pain is gone today in my hip, Jean.
Ah,
What do I know?
it'll
Nothing.
go back.
I only know one thing. The chance of me being in pain from that or something else. Right? See how we tend to grasp right away? Well, no. I have people say if you get the hip surgery, then it'll all be good. And it will possibly till it isn't.
But could you give an example, please, with the beauty of
Um,
this? What I'm saying is if something's beautiful and I don't grasp it,
yes.
are you still saying that that beauty is suffering
Yeah,
just because it leaves? If I haven't grasped it, so what if it's here and gone? That's how things are.
that's right. That's the end of suffering.
Ah, okay.
That is the
Good,
end.
I'm enlightened. Bye.
Yeah, good. We all got that. Yeah, you're right. There is no suffering
Okay.
then.
Yeah. Okay.
That is right. The end of suffering is no grasping, no clinging, no reactions, uh, but really in the abiding of the. And the that line then, all felt sense is suffering, is that there is essentially a clinging to it. And we already know the bigger truth, which is that when there is no clinging, when there is no resistance, when there is no rejection of the truth, this very truth, then there is no suffering. And it is true. We watch a sunset. We were watching a couple sunsets yesterday. It was like just pictures of sunsets. We were sitting somewhere, and it just turned from one amazing thing to another amazing thing and to another amazing thing, and then it just faded into a kind of gray, uh, settled sky. And somebody said. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we could just abide it all? Instead of going, oh, well, now the pink's gone. Now the purple's more gray. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could abide it all? And I said, of course we can. Of course we can, can't we? Of course. This is the continuous mindfulness. And then we know this too. Chris, good morning. I see you. I'm guessing there's a thought you might have about this.
Well, there is. I kind of dropped it into chat, and I feel you and all your pain and surgeries, so I've had many experiences. In fact, I wrote in the chat just for you, actually. Yeah, after many, many surgeries, I've found comfort in knowing that there's an end to the pain and suffering, knowing that I've given it up to the hands of others that are better able to help.
Yes.
And in just the knowing of that, that I'm able to feel better and be with the moment, knowing that somebody is going to, help guide us to, a healthier body.
Yes.
I think pain in general is, at least my experience, it's not the body, it's the mind. And when you can settle the mind
Yes.
and knowing that relief is coming, that, the levels of pain, as you were just describing it, I don't hurt today because I know that there's a plan in place that's going to unfold, that's going to alleviate this pain. And it just makes it easier, in the here and now. And I
Yes.
think that applies to a lot of things. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you.
Yes. Yes. And there is a moment where, and they often talk about this in the suttas as the moment of death, where there may not be the end of the physical distress. It may go, however it goes, but that there is a quality of mind, heart mind, that can hold that too. And then we notice this in moments like grief, don't we? We notice this. It isn't like it magically goes away. We cultivate capacity, compassion, love, kindness, to be with it. And so people then can say, it's still here and I can abide, right? Because A, it's not alone. B, there's a quality of heart minds that just continues to open to the truth of that. And consequently, it is not the same experience. Doesn't mean it's gone either. Do we get this idea? And that was in the sutta that said, with the mind we make the world. Right? Does anybody remember that line? With this mind we make the world. This mind, this moment, this world. And then what? Next moment, completely infinite, I would say, possibility to hold then that too, right? To hold then that as well. And these are beautiful teachings because they're filled with possibility, right? This is the point of the teaching, that just in the hearing, we can sense some possibility. Even if today isn't the day that I can completely actualize that, right? There's infinite possibility here. And I could feel that, and I've talked about this as well. I could feel that even when I had no idea what Joko was saying. The words were just like blah, 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 like I have no idea how she's putting this together or what she's, and yet, even in that, I did sense an abiding truth. I didn't know how to experience it, articulate it. It was just words bouncing off the ear door. And yet, and I did that for many, many years. And yet it mattered. And it got you and me and all of us and the whole of the world really here, right? Even though I have no idea what you just said, I just think it might be true. Even though I can't point to that, see that, feel that, know that quite yet. And I think that's a beautiful place because there hasn't been anything written so far that I haven't been able to trust or anything I've heard. And by the way, I'm in no way speaking, just so we all know, about the Buddhist teachings specifically, and I am speaking about them specifically. I said this to someone just yesterday. Oh, my friends here in our home, Ken and Audrey, friends we've known for a long time and love deeply, who have a very strong tradition and come from a very devoted place in that tradition. And we were just chatting yesterday, and Audrey said about four things from her teachings in her place. And the only thing I could do was nod at the truth of them. Yes, yes, the truth of them. And what I said to them was, I have not been in a temple. I have not been in a connection with someone. I have not been in nature where some truth was not also there and revealed. Ever, right? There is no contact you could possibly have with as difficult, unpleasant um, as it was, where there was not the truth to be known across all times, all traditions, and all people. It says there is a truth being continuously propagated. And then some of us call that God, and some of us call that natural law, and then some of us call that Yeshua, and then, right? And I love all the words. How beautiful. We have all these words. And if you can hear that word, that's perfect. Because we're all pointing, I suspect, at a same essential truth. What other experiences? Thank you for these sharings. These are important. It's one of the reasons that we are likely to keep, as I have been, including little sutta statements in our weekly notes so that we can hold this together. What else? Hearing. Uh, Anybody notice that there was a point when you weren't hearing, meaning the words, and yet there was wisdom, awareness, knowing? There was no words, and yet there was an enlivened, for sure. Anybody pick that up? Embodied truth.
I was going to say that the first times that there were times that I didn't hear the words, but I could feel in my body. I was going to say I had a feeling.
Yes.
So like pleasant or right. I wouldn't even say neutral. It was more
Grounded,
neutral,
maybe
present.
present.
There was a sensation in the body rather than an idea about the words.
Yes, sensation, experience, direct experience. We call that is the greatest teacher. Is one of the suttas, and without thinking, and actually without, I said, hearing. Like I don't even know if or what I heard, but there was some other resonant truth abiding in it. Yes, Jean.
I think if Libby might be talking about what Pema wrote, and I've read it so often the last few days, she just calls it, she says we can connect with something unconditional, dash, a state of mind, a basic environment that does not grasp or reject anything. That's what I felt without putting it into those words. It was that just being here now. I mean, that's the only way I can think of. No matter what you were saying,
That's right.
it just, yeah, there was that sense. I don't even know. I couldn't say where it was in my body, but I guess it must have been in the body.
Yeah, that's the wisdom that sometimes I think people call things like intuition, like the body knows a truth, and this is available then, it says, every breath moment. That there is a wisdom, there is a truth, there is the Dharma, and then also it extends. There is love in every moment. It is all here, really waiting in some, David White says, patiently for us to finally make contact.
I'm always fascinated when that happens with Zoom instead of being in the room with someone wise.
Isn't it amazing? Like it right through the screen, right through the ether, right through because the truth is known well beyond proximity, isn't it? Well beyond face to face. Or now we all have the preferences we have as well, and you just know that I like it more or better. Uh, yeah. So, anything else before we have a few minutes? If anybody wants to share anything else about this,
I have a question.
Libby has a question.
So, especially just recently, I've noticed it's happened several times where when a really lovely thing happens, at the same time of my joy I will start to cry of at that loss of whatever that's going to be. Now I don't stay in the loss. I tend to stay in the joy, but I do have that instant flare up of, I'd say, maybe sadness or whatever it is to make me cry at, because I don't think I'm crying just at the beauty, it's at also the loss of it. But it's so overwhelming, but I can tell there is that valence of, I'm going to lose this. This will disappear. Um, one, is there a problem with that? Two, should I, like, I feel pretty good that it doesn't stay and I'm not dwelling in sadness or loss, but that does pop up pretty quickly right behind
Yes.
the joy of whatever has gone on.
Yeah, this is what Jim was speaking about as well, Jim LaBelle. The mind enters, and the moment the mind enters, we are no longer in contact. In fact, you are in the direct experience of the loss. You are in the loss.
Yeah, right.
And so the pain of that,
Right.
the sadness of that, if we could actually then, is one of the instructions, if you could choose to simply stay for the whole of the experience, what would you see?
I'm more drawn by the joy. I mean, I've not noticed trying to shut out,
Right.
because I even remember going, that's the nature of things, right? I actually felt good about it.
Right.
Like it was, that's what this is. There is the beauty, and even that was, there was a thought of that even that is beautiful.
Right.
That I can be
That's right.
joyful and sad about this amazing thing at the same time.
Yes.
But not let the sadness take me away.
Pervade.
Yes.
Yes, because in all moments, we could say there is the birth and death of all things. In any moment, there is the birth and death of all things, right? If we pay attention, there is a thing arising and a thing dying, and then arising and then dying. And our tendency, our mental grasp, is to grip some part of that. The joy of the birthing, the pain of the deathing. And it says, be watchful, because in our cultivation of mindfulness, compassion, we are in all of it all of the time. And in fact, in the deeper teachings, we're not going to go over those today, but it says they're all happening simultaneously. It isn't even one thing and then another thing. It is birthing and deathing in its, it looks like this, really in its continuous nature. And then when we can abide that wisdom, it just like that. And then sadness is the same. The birthing and deathing of sadness, the birthing and deathing of joy, really in its continuous confluence. And then it says, then, another line that I love, then samsara and nirvana are the same. Then, as we understand this, then samsara and nirvana are the same, because they're the same moment, aren't they? Right here. What's happening right here? Everything, birthing and deathing. living and dying, breathing in, breathing out, all right here. And I've struggled with that particular sutta for a long time, but I get it now. Samsara and nirvana are now the same. No struggles. I'm getting a question from Robin, I think. Robin, is that you? I'm not sure. What is Sumatra?
No, we changed
Oh,
it.
samsara.
Samsara.
Oh, it
Yeah.
changed it. I was going to say I don't know. That comes from a slightly different tradition. Samsara is the truth of suffering,
Ah,
and sometimes referenced as the cycle of suffering. Uh,
okay.
but be careful because it implies in its cycle nature that it is unending, and this is not true. It is the just ways we perpetuate by virtue of habits, by virtue of our conditioning, by virtue of our humanness, the reality of the cycle of suffering
Thank you.
and its end. And that line says samsara and nirvana, the same moment, the same experience, actually, but held then, one would say, different with a different mind, right? But the same moment. It's all right here. And so I can go, oh, the loss of that, or oh, the birth of that, yay, yay, or right, or I could cultivate this wisdom mind that says, yes, all things in their arising, all things in their passing, the truth, all things. And now I'm in an equanimous abiding with, Libby just said it. She said, with whatever's happening, including sadness. I don't have to get rid of sadness. I don't have to get rid of at all. It's all right here in this, but without clinging, without attachments, without aversions, and without ignorance. Right? And we are all capable of this. Isn't this spectacular? And we're doing it all the time, by the way. We're all doing it all the time. And we know when we're doing it because we see the availability, don't we, of that person who is just here completely uh, with whatever is here, right? And so then there is no problem with crying when you're sad and laughing when you're joyful. We just don't say every moment must be just like this. We see the continuing, right, confluence and permanence and change in everything. Uh, Beginning with hearing, and then just in the hearing, we talked about sense doors, particularly last week, right? All the information is, all the Dharma is available just from the ear door. And then we have all these beautiful sense doors as well.
I wondered, Diana, if Robin, oh, you're done. You turned off the video. But did you do something different today? Every now and then I would think she's really talking slowly, but thank goodness her voice isn't disappearing the way it sometimes does in a meditation. Did you consciously, I'm not sure why that matters actually. I'll just say my experience was that because my experience of your voice was that it was slower, that it brought me into more of a place where I could be receptive.
Yes, I did that on purpose, particularly in the reading of the suttas.
Uh-huh. It was marvelous. Thank
They
you.
are deserving of space. And they are not my words, and so also deserving of a certain reverence, right? They're spoken by, again, infinite awakened others. And so we read those, with that. And yeah, I think it can be felt. I don't think I consciously, I didn't
Yeah,
think,
but that
yeah,
came through.
yes,
Was it
but
this? Was the one about the mind, because you said something a month ago I wrote down about that's the mind that I'm creating. The mind is creating the world I live in. Is
Yeah.
that one called the Satipatthana? Is that right? That sutta?
The mind makes the world.
Yeah,
Well, it's both different words, but also the Dhammapada.
Dhammapada. Thank
It
you.
is the mind that makes the world.
I better read that one first.
It's an entire canon book commentary, and it is intended, just so everyone knows, to be read and heard.
Ah,
To be read and heard. The early teachings, the Pali canons, were actually meant to be um, repeated. And so you see it a lot of repetition, and then the ear door, and then the eye door, and then the nose door. It's not as easy to read, but it is rightly repeated. The Dhammapada is a commentary with the intent to
thank
hear
you.
very specifically. And it's very beautiful and very recitable, relatable um, book. And we should probably take a look at it. That's a lovely idea. Okay. All right. If nothing else immediate, I'm just looking at Greg because he's one of our board members to see if there's anything. I know Jim Sinclair, I've already talked about tomorrow getting
Get
for
for
that.
that. No, I think Thursday night we're going to be going to the food bank, and maybe we're going to have about 10 people going, and that'll be our first time there, so it'll be interesting. We'll be in a learning mode.
Informative.
Informative, yes. So we'll let you know what happens.
Greg and I can't talk with the same open mic for just right now. There is room for others to join if they have not, because several people have said they could not go. I am one of them because standing and bending right now is probably not my wisest action. There was another person who signed up who could not attend. So we do have space if there is anybody who would like to sign up. And if you have not yet and you don't know how, let Greg or I know so that we can help you get signed up for that. And it starts, I think, at 6 o'clock is my recollection. And Greg has some instructions that he can get you if you let us know about where we're going to meet when, so that
I'll help out on
Libby, we'll get Libby signed up, Greg. She would like to go help out this Thursday. And so we'll send you her stuff so you can, and then I'll get you signed up because there's a little process on San Diego Food Bank for that as well. So anybody let us know if you're interested in that.
Diana, I would like to join if that space is still free.
There is more than one. Jeanette, so I will get in contact with you and help you get through that too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a little complicated the first time, but once we have an account, it'll be fine.
Perfect.
Just
Great.
getting it. Yeah, I'll let you know, Jeanette. Good.
I'd like to do it too if there's another one.
Felicia, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. I think maybe we'll all get on Zoom together today and just walk through the account.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just a little complicated and we have to do it that way because we need waivers and things signed. And there is room because there are 3 people who have let me know they could not continue. Greg, I don't know. I thought Kelly wrote us both, but Kelly also is in the middle of a project and was hoping someone else could take her slot.
I have an email right now into my contact there at the food bank to try to find out if we can add people at this point because there was something I read that said that they wanted you to do that within 5 days.
They do have
Yeah. So, but I'm presently sorry. We'll figure it out someday. So I've got a note into him, and hopefully, today he'll get back to me, and I'll let everybody know.
Libby, Felicia, and Jeanette, we're still going to go ahead and sign up so that we can get you an account, so that whether we can get you in today or not, and of course everybody wants to know ahead of time. I think there's probably some good chances, my recollection from my Rotary days, that we can get you in. They just need to know who's also out. So if you haven't canceled, and I know that Joyce has, and I'm going to today, that will make it easier for them. So, all right. So let's get ready for our prayer.
Greg and Di, I just want to mention on the website right at this moment, it still says it's closed for registration for Thursday evening. So if somebody's going on independently trying to get into that slot, it won't let us in right now.
Good. Thank you so much for that, Lynn. So, Lynn, you're not technically signed up.
No, I'm signed up on the website as far as being a volunteer, but I'm not signed up for Thursday night's event yet. So,
And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
yeah,
That's my question doing.
Perfect. This is the deep Dharma right here, not knowing and being willing to stay with the uncertainty and the questions so that we can get this work through together, and we will get better at it. As we get the wisdom, we'll use these very teachings to figure out how to be most skillful with San Diego Food Bank. So let's get ready for a prayer. May we hear the Dharma in each moment. And may we let it translate beyond the ear door into a quality of embodied wisdom, love. Let it awaken our own heart minds, and then the heart minds of all those we touch, expanding in infinite circles until all beings have been awakened. And then the Bodhisattva prayer. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all be happy, truly happy. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we be joyful and glad at the gift of this precious human life and support that life in all beings. May we rest and dwell in this very present moment, filled with the Dharma, with wisdom, with love, and compassion. May we contribute. And may these teachings, these practices, and our aspirations to realize them, may they all continue. so be it. Thank you all so much. We will be practicing tomorrow morning, Wednesday at 7:05 with Carrie, Thursday at 7 with Greg, Friday with Libby, Saturday in the garden. Look at all this Dharma. Look at all this Dharma. Thank you so much, Jean, for your beautiful reading. Very lovely, very meaningful, perfect contribution. I appreciate you. And everyone else. Be well, everyone. Enjoy this day. Make it better. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Take care.